The first murder and first banishment occurred, and it was multiple slip-ups that sealed the fate for one player. The Traitors had the choice to pick Eric, Ian or Mark as their first victim. I thought the easier choice would be to get rid of Ian because he's a gamer, but it all depended on what the game plan the Traitors wanted to follow. Ian did end up being the first victim of the Traitors. I didn't notice this before, but has there always been this issue of not enough seats at breakfast during the first couple of days? The last 4 to enter stood up at the back due to this issue. The odd suspicion had been thrown out since Alan picked his secret traitor, but these were based on nothing. One player unknowingly provided evidence against themselves. It looked like Ron picked it up. This wasn't the only time Portia made a slip up, and it looked like Donna and Michael realised the slip up. I just burst out into laughter. What on earth was Portia doing? Was she the secret traitor, or was she a faithful saying something that only a traitor should say, like I'm a traitor or I killed someone? With this and the previous night's situation, this was not looking good for Portia. How quickly were these slip ups going to go around the players? There were 3 thrones that would need to be pushed and pulled through a course. Whoever sat on the thrones would have a chance to win a shield. There will be money bags and 2 traitor tokens hidden at each stop. The token would give a player the chance to swap with someone on the throne. Only the 3 players sat in the thrones when they reach the castle will be protected from murder. If they all fail to get back to the castle in 45 minutes, they will earn no gold or shields. Candice, Caroline and Tiffany started on the thrones. Because Alan wasn't around to give them time checks, they needed to try and keep time themselves. It looked like this would actually help them because they were way ahead of the actual time. Monet and Stephen found a shield token at the first stop and gave them to Lisa and Dorinda. It looked like they were going with the strategy of keeping lighter people on the thrones. At the second stop, Stephen continued his strategy by giving the next token he found to Caroline, which meant she went back on the throne. Maura found the token and went on the throne herself. At the third stop, Colton found a shield and swapped with Lisa. Robbar found the other token but gave it to Jam Jam. This meant Caroline, Colton and Jam Jam were the final players on the throne and were protected from murder as they finished with 10 minutes to spare. It also meant they added £22,500 to the prize pot. Did the edit fail to show an agreement before the start of the mission? As I was struggling to figure out why Michael thought there should have been a discussion on the final tokens. There could have been some plan to give the tokens to those who were up for murder the previous night, but there didn't seem to be one. I think it's understandable that Jam Jam might be scared if he was a faithful, because the traitors just murdered a gamer. Both had a case for being scared, but Michael didn't know that Robbar was the one that found the token that Jam Jam had. Robbar essentially made that call himself because he was previously up for murder, or at least that's what they know, as he wasn't actually in danger. Chef Kristen, could you not find a smaller knife to add spread with? Though we did see her chat to Michael and Ron about the Portia slip, there had been comments about how Donna doesn't talk much game. We got to witness why those comments were made in the first place. Though Donna did have a name, she needed to be better with how she answered questions when she didn't want to give information out. Donna could have easily said, I do have a name but I'm waiting for the round table, or something else. Anything that was better than what actually came out of her mouth. Donna looked like she was hiding a different kind of secret, and it was making her look suspicious to the others. She was one of my initial thoughts as the secret traitor. At this point it looked like Donna and Portia were going to be the topic of conversation. I didn't think Michael would be as hot of a topic as he thought he was, because a lot of the players just think he's a loud faithful. Why was Portia continuing down this road of speaking like a traitor? Faithful or traitor, Portia wasn't very good at this, even declaring that there's 4 traitors. Are you actually trying to get banished first? I find it funny when players talk about trying to be the first faithfuls to get a traitor out on the first attempt, because they talk like their version is the only version that exists. Not in the history, just yours, because it's been done many times before. At first there was silence. Natalie was the first person to speak and mention Donna's name. Ron brought his evidence against Portia. If he's a faithful, Michael showed how easy it is to make a slip up, as he said, we got rid of Ian. I've seen players like Michael in other versions and they don't last. I think he might continue to be a distraction that could find him in the conversations for banishment again. Once it dies down with him, the traitors will get rid of him. If I was at the round table, I would have voted for either Michael or Portia for the following reasons. Someone brought actual evidence against Portia which was backed up by 2 other players. Michael provided everyone evidence against himself. Even though Donna is one of the players I think is the secret traitor, there's something concrete with the other 2. Portia was banished with 10 votes while Donna had 8 and Michael had 4. Candice's comments about Portia were proved right when Portia revealed herself to be a faithful. This might help Michael because it shows that if someone slips up with their words, it doesn't automatically mean they are a traitor. Who it wasn't good for was Lisa and Ron. Lisa turned on her fellow housewife, while because Ron brought the evidence against Portia, it made him look like he was trying to set her up. I think it was a bad move from Lisa to vote for Portia. Regardless if you know them personally, the housewives are a ready-made ally and could prove pivotal if Lisa got to the final with any housewives left. The traitors were tasked with a murder in plain sight. There were tarot cards hidden behind a picture in the kitchen. The cards had the faithfuls the secret traitor had shortlisted for murder. The traitors had to find the cards, pick who to murder and burn that card in the breakfast room. If successful, they can meet the secret traitor. This was going to be hard because there's always people in the kitchen. Of all the things to do as a distraction, doing a conga line was not on my list. I would have sacrificed myself and caused an injury as a distraction tactic as long as the first aid kit wasn't in the kitchen. Candice started the conga line and people were actually joining in. This ended up being the perfect distraction as Rob R was able to get the cards. Monet, Rob C, Tara and Kristen were the faces on the cards. I can scrub Rob C off my secret traitor list, but I didn't have any conviction with that other than he's strategic. I'm more convinced it's Donna with a small suspicion on Dorinda. Rob C is too clued on for his own good. He was already thinking there might be a murder in plain sight, but what he didn't know was that he was in danger. Logically thinking, Rob C would be the best faithful to get rid of. The only downside of that is that you're losing another gamer you could pin being a traitor on. I'm not sure who out of the other 3 would be a good choice. Lisa and Rob are deciding on the pick, using chess as a way to come to a decision in secret. These traitors have been very inventive in this task. Candice doesn't know who they picked, so she doesn't have to act surprised at breakfast because she actually will be. Let us and Candice see whose card they end up burning.